Good day everyone. My name is Charles Denver Ian Torres, and today I'm going to discuss to you my major task in discrete math about root values. So first of all, I'm going to discuss to you my code. Then my code and program are informative ones, so it will just output different kinds of information. So my header file includes iostream and windows.h. Then I have used do while loops, if else statements, for loops and switch case statements. So first of all, my first part of my program is the truth table, which have four choices: the introduction, connectives, truth values, and examples. Then enter the number of the desired page to go. So if any of these choices are entered, example one, it will go to the switch case statement, case one. So case one includes the meaning of truth table and what it is. Then after that, it will ask user if they want to go back to the main page, and if they entered Y, it will go back to the top, and if they entered any key rather than Y, it will just end the program saying thank you. For the second case, or case 2, it are the connectives used in truth table. So this here contains negation, conjunction, disjunction, implication, and by implication. So for the first, it will output the first connective, the negation. Then it will have a little information of what is negation and an example of that. So after that, it will ask user if they want to proceed to the next connective. So if they want, they can just enter P to proceed and enter any key to not. And if they entered any key rather than P, it will ask them again if they want to go back to the main page. And if not, it will just, and if they want to, it will go back to the top. And if not, it will just end the program. So here we have the conjunction, the disjunction, the implication, and the by implication. Since by implication is the last topic or connective that have been discussed, so it will not ask user if they want to proceed to the next connective. Since it is the last connective, then it will just ask the user if they want to go back to the main page. So for the case 3 is the truth values, are the truth values that this contains tautology, contradiction, and contingency. So same as the connectives, the process of the connectives, after the first truth value, it will ask the user if they want to proceed to the next truth value. Then if they entered P, it will go to the next. Then if not, it will ask them if they want to go back to the main page. And if yes, it will go back to the top. And if no, it will just end the program. So for the last case, case 4 are the examples and another do while and switch statement. So here we have 4 examples with 1 connective, 2 connectives, 3 connectives, and 4 connectives. And if either of these choices are entered, it will go to the switch case statement. So for the case 1 is the example with only 1 connective and 2 variables, and it will also show its truth value. Then case 2, 2 connectives with 3 variables now and also its truth value. Then case 3 is an example with 3 connectives and 3 variables with also its own truth value. And for the last case is an example with 4 connectives and 4 variables. And it also has its own truth value. Then for the default of the switch case, if they entered any number except for the choices, it will just ask user if they want to try again, and if entered Y, it will go and ask them if they want to select another example. If no, it will ask them if they want to go back to the main page, and if not, it will just end the program. And if they want to go back, then it will just go back to the examples. Then for the default, for the switch case, first switch case statement, which is from the top, the four topics or the choices, the introduction, the connectives, truth values, and examples. The default of that is also the same with the example. So ask user if they want to try again, if they did entered number that is not in your choices. So if yes, they can just try again and choose another option. So that is for my code. For the next one is I will present to you or discuss to you the result of this code. So now this is the output of my code and this is the program. So this is the first part. So I am just going to show the result of of the case statements and the loops in the code. So first off, we are going to the introduction. So if we entered 1, we'll go to the introduction to truth table, which contains from the first which I discussed in the code, information about what is truth table. So after we read that, then it will ask user if they want to go back to the main page. So we will just go back for now because I am going to show you the result of each of these statements. So the second is the connectives used in propositions. So here is the first part, the negation, then an example, the meaning of negation, then as if user wants to proceed, then we will just proceed. Next is the conjunction, same with the first, and a meaning and example of this. Then proceed. Third is the disjunction, meaning and example. Proceed. Next, connective. The implication, same with the meaning and example. And lastly, the by implication with the meaning also and the example. Since this is the last connective, it will just ask us to go if we want to go back to the main page. So we will just for now go back to the main page. So third case or case 3 is the truth value. So here is the first truth value tautology, which has its own meaning and example of this. So same with the connectives, it will ask if we want to proceed to the next. So we are just going to proceed to the next. Next is the contradiction with an example. Then lastly is the contingency with its own example and meaning also. Since this is the last truth value, it will just ask us if we want to go back to the main page. So we will just go back for now. Then the last case statement is the are the examples. So we were just going to show I am just going to show the examples under each of these cases. So first, the one connective sample of a proposition or statement with one connective and whether it is tautology, contradiction, or contingency. So this is the example, and this is the its truth values. So then ask if we want to select another example. So we're just going to select another example. So let's go to the second example with the connectives. So an example with the connectives and also three variables. And it's also truth value. So let's go back and select another example. So the third example, here's the third example with three connectives and also with same as with three variables also. Now this here also has its own truth value. Then we will proceed to show the fourth example with four connectives and four variables. So this is the last example with four connectives and four variables. And also it has its own truth value. So I guess that is it I'm going to show you what happens if I entered a number not in the choice. So let's enter 5. So it will ask us if we want to try again. So yes. And if we want to select another sample. And if not, so since I have shown you the examples, I am just not going to select another example. So I'm just going to enter any key and go back to the main page. And here, if I entered any number, example 7, that is not, obviously that is not in the choices. So we'll ask us if we want to try again. So yes, it will go back to the main page. So if I entered uh any number 7, then I won't try again and won't go back, or I want to end the program, so I can just enter any key and it will just end the program saying thank you. That is same for the each cases. So if we entered any key besides y, or rather than except for y, it will just end the program saying thank you. And that is for my video presentation of the major task in discrete math about truth tables. Thank you.